West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast. West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Monday night live show. I was trying to do two things at once there, so I don't even know if that one just messed up, you know. Monday night live. The thing is, no long thing. It's 10:30. Like the clocks have gone forward in England, which means people in the Caribbean and the States, you lot are fresh right now. You think your evening's just started. You're sitting in your houses right now going, yeah, it's only 5:35, 4:35. Well, let me tell you something. It's my bedtime, you know. It's my bedtime. So this show is going 45 minutes only. 45 minutes maximum. Whoever needs to say what they want to say, jump on, make a point, jump off. Because we have to go to bed. We have to go to bed soon, you know. I'm still ill. I've been ill for a week now. I've been mashed up for a whole week. Run up the likes. I'm not even going to start the show. Run up the likes. We're gonna start the show properly. When I see that there's over 100 people in the live, I'm gonna start the show properly. So run up the likes, run up the shares, run up the subscriptions. Run it all up. Because I'm not starting properly. I mean, when Devon, who does all of our thumbnails, he said to me yesterday, "Oh, Mash, what should I put on the thumbnail on the front on Monday's live show?" I said, "It's been a slow week in West Indies cricket." I said, "I'll put Kishore and Azim Basaraf on the front of the show." Obviously, they've just started their first 3-year term, and Kishore confirmed today in the press conference that this is actually his first term of the 3-year terms that you're now allowed to have. And so Kishore, I said, I'll put that up on the thumbnail. It's not that interesting, but it's something to talk about. President got voted by all 12 representatives, whereas Basaraf only got 8. So 4 representatives didn't vote for Basaraf. I have to assume that that's the 2 from Guyana and the 2 from Barbados. I would assume that they didn't vote for Basaraf because they think he's a Trini thief. So that's probably why they didn't vote for him. I would assume that's what happened. But Kishore got all 12 voting for him. So that's a piece of news that's happened. The West Indies women are in Pakistan or still in the UAE, possibly getting ready for their World Cup qualifiers. That starts on Friday, so they might actually be in Pakistan by now. So there's that. And of course, the big news today. Just when you think we're actually going to have a dull day in West Indies cricket, there's never a dull day in West Indies cricket. Kraigg Braithwaite, it was announced formally that Kraigg Braithwaite had stepped down as West Indies Test captain. Big news conference. Kishore was there, Miles Bascombe was there, Darren Sammy was there, Chris Daring was there. Big press conference. And it was also announced that Shai had taken over from Rovman Powell and is now the T20 captain, in addition to being the ODI captain. So, of course, over the next 24 to 72 hours, you can expect a regional cuss-out. DJ Bravo's already started the regional cuss-out. He's sitting in India right now with Calcutta Knight Riders, with Rovman Powell, who's in that team as well. And they're cussing. For those who haven't seen, Bravo's gone on his Instagram and done an almighty cuss out of Cricket West Indies, saying, "How can you take the captaincy off Rovman? You lot don't care about the players, this, that." And as I said to Santoki, because Santoki and I have just released, if you're wondering why I haven't started the show properly yet, it's because I'm not starting properly until there's about 100 people in the live. So share the live, people. Share it up. Until we get to 100, no one's coming on the show. Santoki and I just recorded an episode on the captaincy issue. Some of you are probably still watching that. That's why you're not in the live right now, because that only dropped about 50 minutes ago. And boy, there's tons of views. Do you know what? So on that captaincy video, there's already, after 51 minutes, there's already over 500 views on that episode. So it's going to be one of our most listened to ones in recent times, obviously, in the most recent month or so. So some of you might be watching that. But anyways, the point is, as I said to Santoki, I'm a Jamaican. I don't care that Rovman's lost the captaincy. Some of you, this is how I know I've never been insular. I couldn't care less. I couldn't care less that Rovman's lost the captaincy. I don't see it as any big knock on him. I don't see it as any big slight on him. I don't see it as any big disrespect. We've lost our last 3 T20 series. Lest I remind anyone, at Christmas, Bangladesh turned us over 3-0. And not even in close games. They whooped that trick. Bangladesh whooped us 3-0 in our last T20 series. It wasn't even close in our own conditions. Before that, England whooped us 3-1. One of the games was washed out. And that wasn't close either. And before that, Sri Lanka beat us away in their conditions. And I'm not saying that means that Rovman should have been sacked. That's not my point at all. But I am saying, before people rush into the comments to say things like, oh, they did Rovman dirty, we just lost our last 3 series. Like, no one's above a removal. No one. So yeah, there's that. And obviously Shai's taken over. I got no issue with it. Loads of people in the Discord were going, I can't believe they've made Shai T20 captain. I don't see why does it matter? Like, to me, it's just a no-brainer. If he's going to make a change, then it has to be Shai. Like, I don't see what the big issue is. I don't even think Shai becoming T20 captain is a big talking point. Shai right now is one of the most, outside of IPL, Shai is one of the most highly sought after T20 batters in the world, right? And some of you will say so's Rovman, but Shai's evolution into a T20 power hitter has been significant, right? And obviously, Sammy's happy with the ODI team's transformation over the last 12 months under Shai's captaincy. So just moving Shai over to T20 as well. And lest I remind people of something, because some of you don't pay attention. Shai's got a multi-year contract with Cricket West Indies. Only 3 players have got a multi-year contract. Shai Hope, Brandon King, Jaden Seals, right? They're the only 3 players, and in the men's game, obviously in the women's game, Hayley Matthews, I think Hayley's got it, and Shemaine Campbell, right? But in the men's game, it's only those 3 guys. If you've invested in someone and said, here's a multi-year contract, and one of those guys is already your captain, you better believe he's going to be captain of another side as well. I see a clear aligning going on. They've already aligned the white ball with the red ball by making Sammy become the test coach. That was an alignment of West Indies cricket. Read between the lines, people. When Sammy got the test coach job and they announced it, one of the first things Sammy said was, there is no such thing as white ball cricketers and red ball cricketers. It's just West Indies cricketers. That's stage 1. Stage 2, Shai's now become T20 captain and ODI captain. Shai has a multi-year contract. That's stage 2 now of aligning everything all together. There's only one stage missing. And it's all about who's going to become the next test captain. I'm not saying I'm putting my money on it being Shai Hope, but those of you who watch Caribbean Cricket Podcast properly will know that way back in 2024, the videos are all there. If you're a proper long-time supporter of Caribbean Cricket Podcast, you'll know that the videos are already there. And I said with chest in 2024, not now, not after Pakistan, before we'd even left the Caribbean to go to Pakistan, I said clearly, Craigg's going to stand down after Pakistan. And I think Shai's going to become the next test captain. Bear man messaging me going, you don't know what you're talking about. That. So said, so done. Kraigg has stepped down after Pakistan. We now need a new test captain. I'm not saying it's definitely going to be Shai, but I would not be surprised if it ends up being Shai Hope. The only reason I think it won't be Shai Hope is if Shai wants to bank more T20 money. Because if Shai takes that test captaincy, and I think Santoki made this point on the episode we just recorded earlier today, if Shai takes that test captaincy, all of a sudden now, like when Puram was ODI captain, all of a sudden now you're limiting your capacity to turn down series and go play this one and go play that T20 tournament and go play MLC there and go and play 100 there, go play Big Bash there, go play this one there. If Shai takes that test captaincy, all of a sudden, he's not free to just go wherever he wants. But then the flip side to that is, if Shai takes the test match captaincy and he becomes all format captain, tests, ODI, T20s, plus he's got a multi-year contract from West Indies, he's still making a big bag, plus his CPL money, plus IPL if he gets back into that, or PSL or whatever it might be. He's still making a bag of money. So does he need to be completely available? I don't know. Anyways, none of this matters because Australia are going to whoop us anyways. It don't matter who they put as captain. Australia are going to whoop us down regardless. So at the end of the day, and here's the thing we have to understand, we can talk about who should be the next captain. We're still playing Australia with the same set of players and we're still going to get whooped. So actually, it don't matter. So we can talk for 2 hours. It don't actually matter. We're going to take our whooping and we're going to like it. So we have to remember that as well, to be honest. Just let me drink my Lemsip and mind my business. Anyways, we're 6 people away from 100 on the live. As soon as I get to 100 on the live, I'll free up the link. Only once we get to 100 will I free up the link. Let me go to Twitter. You lot talk amongst yourselves whilst I just tell people on Twitter that we're live. Let me come back. We're 93 people in the live. You best share it into your WhatsApp groups, your Facebook groups. You can find the Caribbean Cricket Podcast everywhere, people. We're on TikTok. We're on Instagram. We're on Discord. We're on Blue Sky. We're on X. We're in Facebook. We got a website, www.caribbeancricketpodcast.com. Where else are we? We're on OnlyFans. We're on Pornhub. We're everywhere. Caribbean Cricket Podcast. We're everywhere. Find us everywhere. Just type us into Google. Pure Caribbean Cricket Podcast. Everywhere on the internet. We're on the dark web. We're on Reddit. We're everywhere. We're on Al Jazeera. Anywhere there's media, Caribbean Cricket Podcast is there. Let me we are on LinkedIn, by the way. Yeah, we actually are on LinkedIn. Yeah, we're on LinkedIn. Yeah, we're on LinkedIn. I about 3 weeks ago, I created the Caribbean Cricket Podcast LinkedIn page, company page. So if you're on LinkedIn, you can find us on there as well. TC says, Mash, the office heard you say that CCP is on Pornhub. Yeah, we're outside. If you put the category BBC into Pornhub, it'll come up with Caribbean Cricket Podcast episode. Oh God, allow me. Let me just let me just start the show. Right, we're over 100. We're over 100. Let me start the show because I'm too unruly. Let me start this. Where's the live link? Let me just bring this in right now. Right, okay. Oh yeah, Eid Mubarak, by the way. Yeah, big up all my Muslim brethren and sistren. Yeah, let's put the live link in. Let's go. Okay, right. Let's jump on next so we're live. Okay, right. Yep, cool. Let's get going then. So we're over 100 in the live. Let's start the show. 5-minute countdown, by the way. No one come on here to talk for 25 minutes. None of that. The show's got to end. By a certain time. I've got work tomorrow. And it's already, because the clocks have changed, it's already coming up to 11 o'clock in the UK. Oh, by the way, if you're going to Ireland for the Ireland matches, let me know, people. I will be in Ireland for at least one, definitely one ODI. I think the third one, and definitely the 2 T20s on the weekend, the back-to-back T20s on the Saturday and Sunday. So I'll definitely be in Ireland for 3 of those matches. I'm hoping to get to the second ODI as well, but I'm just not sure about that one yet. Obviously, West Indies women will be over in England as well, so I'm looking to get to some of their matches as well in May/June. Obviously, the men will be in England. I'll try to get to some of those matches as well. So I will be out and about during the England and Ireland tour for both the women and the men. So if you're in England, shout me. We'll do a link up. I might have to finally do that CCP live episode that everyone's always asking me to do at one of those games. Anyways, let's get onto it. Let's get into the show. Let me find my timer. Because people are only getting 5 minutes today, you know. Okay, let me find my timer, people. Right, here we go. Right, 5 minutes. Louie is up first. 5 minutes for everyone who comes onto the show today. Let's get going. Yes, Louie, how you doing?
Hello, Mash. How you going, mate? You all right?
I'm very good, thank you.
Oh, that's lovely to hear. But really, let me make my point quickly. I only have 5 minutes. But basically, what I'm trying to say here is what Jerry said on Discord, the best left armour in the region, of course, Great Jerry. So just trying to summarise what he said, because I really thought it was quite poignant to what is currently happening. The idea of Sammy, I believe, is to really bring to not really to have a division between the teams anymore. Not an ODI team, a T20 team, or a test team. The idea is to bring all the small talents, because you have to remember, we don't really have a lot of good players anyway. So you might as well bring all your talent or your good players. Doesn't matter the format, because really, if they're all bad, what is the difference? If they're all bad, it doesn't make really a difference to make a specialized T20 player or an ODI specific player. Well, if he has any sort of talent, you might as well bring him to any or every sort of format, really. There's no point in actually just making them exclusive to one format, just wasting talent, right? Like, I mean, with any sort of play, it doesn't really matter whichever one. So basically, it shouldn't be excluded to any single format anymore. And another point is, we have been talking about this for ages. I think ever since we started the podcast in 2019, pigeonholing players, like that's been one of the most current things ever. Just pigeonholing a talent into one specific format. The other point, I believe, is to really into the test side now. I think the current idea is bringing the talent, but even then, they're still bad, right? Let's say a Hodge or an Athenas, currently, they might have a lot of talent, but even then, what I think Sammy does perfectly well is to, you do this, you do that. He gives specific, clear roles to the players. What was the great thing about Grindball Mash? You talked about this before. The great thing about Grindball was that you have to stay there for 100 balls. Individually, you might say Nkrumah Bonner and other players weren't necessarily very talented, but they did their job, their role. He should be there for the 100 balls. The score might be a problem or not, but really, stay there for that long time, and really, we can do something with that. I think Sammy is looking for that. He's going to get specific players to do specific jobs for very specific things. But then there's a problem. Who's going to score the bulk of the runs? And for that, I do believe you need someone to take the lead from the front. And who's that player for Sammy? Now, that's the big question, right? Is that Braithwaite? Is that why Kraigg, a very good captain? My sincere opinion, I really like Kraigg, to go down as a captain, really to try getting his batting back up, or maybe a Shai Hope. For me, that's the big question right now. Who is the guy who's going to take the lead? Because really, if Sam is going to give specific roles, we still need a guy who's overall good to take in the lead. I think that's the overall idea Sammy is working with. If Jerry wants to get in to actually get a bit deeper into this, I think that would be a great idea. But currently, that's what is going on in my head about what Sammy is trying to do. Some very nice chess, to be fair, from Sammy. It's quite clever, right? So at least that's how I'm seeing it. Do you think he's trying to do something different from that?
Yeah, so I think there's definitely I think there's definitely an attempt to align everything in West Indies cricket. Then there's definitely an attempt to make all of the players in the region buy into a vision. Until the hard thing is, until we see the test squad that gets announced for Australia, it's hard to tell. How do I explain this? It's hard to see because we're all speculating at the moment.
Yeah.
So it's hard to see what the vision is for the test squad until we see the first one announced versus Australia. Now, Santoki, after Santoki and I finished recording the episode earlier tonight, Santoki said to me off the after the recording, he said Sammy might end up just picking the exact same players that went to Pakistan. Yeah. And he said, how underwhelming would that be if after all of this big discussion is actually just the same set of players? So whilst I agree with you that there is an attempt to align everything, I have to wait to see what the test squad looks like before I completely see it, if you see what I mean. But the question I would ask of you is the points you've made notwithstanding, two questions you just basically need to answer. Do you agree with Shai becoming captain of the T20 side, and who should replace Kraigg as test captain?
You know what? For me, Shai taking the T20 captaincy is actually quite interesting, right? I personally did not see it coming. I mean, when you think about it logically, who else would take it? Puran has tried, failed quite miserably, quite so. And some others have tried as well. But really, out of the current squad, you really couldn't say anyone else other than Shai. Even though, for me, let's be fair, even till the World Cup, Shai wasn't a certain peak on the side. I still remember all the discussions at the start of the World Cup about, Shai shouldn't be playing here. It's just not the right conditions for him. He bats too slow, and he's the anchor, and all of that. I mean, with the time, Shai has surely proven, right? No, I'm an outstanding all-rounder batsman for T20s. At least I do personally think that and even if he isn't currently right now, I do believe Sammy is giving him the leeway to at least attempt to be as good as a T20 player as he can be. I don't think it's a bad approach, really, because to be honest here, how relevant is a T20 captain? For me, the big change was never Rovman. It was always Sammy. If anyone has ever watched the T20 game by us, you can always see Rovman going to fine leg and talking with him. Sammy, he's always had the top approach. In T20s, the fields, the players are so specific that setting very specific fields for very specific moments in the match are really essential. So really, individual changes by the captain himself is not necessarily a big thing in T20s, at least not in my view. The influence of the captain is more, I would assume, more of morale and all of that. I surely believe Shai can do that. Exactly. You can see people always talk about Rovman being the guy who pushed the team into third place. For me, it was always Sammy. Sammy was the guy basically selecting the team. He was giving all the directions. His statistician guy, the one who came in the show, really good bloke. Avanish was a brilliant statistician, a really good guy. So really, Sammy and his team really, from me, brought the most change. And that's one of the most crucial parts about the new testing under Sammy. What's his team going to do with the data? And to the other point, Mash, you asked about Kraigg. I have absolutely no idea who's going to be the test captain. I was racking a bit in my own mind when I was at university. That's why I'm still in my pajamas, to be fair. But really, the only answer I could clearly come up with is Shai, or really, because to be fair, people say, "Oh, but Josh was dropped." I mean, he was dropped under Coley, but if Sammy has his own team, I don't see any reason why JDS could not be given the captaincy, at least for the series alone, for the first series. But currently, Mash, I honestly have no idea. We might see Kevin Hodge taking the lead. He's going.
Listen,
He's going
that's
to.
not that's
Yeah,
not even as ridiculous as you might think. To be fair,
absolutely.
because
To be fair,
how much we have no idea that
yeah,
it could end up being that, and that's why, like I say, in the episode we recorded earlier today, that's why I said to Santoki, it doesn't matter who it is, whoever it is, it's the wrong answer to
yeah,
the public.
absolutely.
There is nobody who the public will even 70% be behind, because there's no obvious person
No,
to get it. Who is obviously somebody's going to cash in the money in the bank and get it, so we shall see.
yeah,
Anyways,
absolutely.
Louis, I better go to the next caller.
No, mate. Bye, bye.
All right, then. Take care, yeah? Big up, Louis. If you don't know already, people, on the Substack page, let me actually find the link to it. Louis has submitted 2 articles on the Substack page, which you can go read his writings on West Indies cricket. Let me just find that link. And there's a poll in the chat at the moment. Was it right to remove Rodman Powell as T20 captain? 64 of you have voted so far. 66% say yes. 34% of you say no. So you can still vote in that poll. I haven't closed it. Yet. There you go. I've just put the link for the Substack in the chat, people, for those of you who've never actually gone to it before. I might put the Substack. I was speaking to I was round Jared Kimber's house on Friday. We were talking about bits and pieces, various different cricket stuff, CCP, this, that, and the third. And he was saying to me that he basically said to me, something you might find, if this is for the long-time supporters, followers of Caribbean Cricket Podcast, Jared was basically saying to me that these weren't the words he used, but I'm just reading between the lines. You're basically saying you make so much stuff free and on Caribbean Cricket Podcast. Nothing's really behind a paywall. Almost like Santoki and I just give away loads. So yeah, that's why we have no sponsor or anything. Less is more. So you might see some changes in the summer. For this summer, you might see me start to change things up a bit. Yeah, but we'll see. The Substack might be one of them, but we shall see. Anyways, let's go to the next caller. Next caller's Fireball. Okay, 1 second. Let me bring Fireball on. My throat is killing me, you lot. Right, let's bring Fireball on. Yes, Fireball, how you doing?
I'm good, Mash. I'm good. Talking about having paywalls. Let me mention this first before I mention my main point. As a Patreon member myself, I feel locked in Discord for Patreon members. Plain talk bad, man. Too much idiots in Discord. Lock it. Pay $2 to get in Discord.
Yeah, so do you know what? So funny enough, I was thinking that the other day, because that was one of the things that Jared said. He was like, your Discord should only be for people who are patrons.
You could keep the community, the current community now.
Yeah, but create an actual different one.
Nah. You could keep the people that are in the Discord now.
Yeah.
But lock it off for any new people. So anyone else want to join Discord now? We'll have to pay.
Oh,
you don't have to do. So you can have a window. You can still have it free. But when like say if August comes, lock off the Discord for anybody else to join.
Okay, I hear you. For those people, I just cut myself with my nail clippers. For those people wondering what we're talking about, Discord. I don't know how many people are in the Discord. I reckon it might be like 100 plus are in the Caribbean Cricket Podcast Discord, people. So you heard what Fireball said. If you don't get in soon, time to lock it off. Anyways, Fireball, what point do you want to make about the cricket?
I was actually chatting up with Panda about the captaincy change, and she mentioned one major point. And while she well, she. I won't say mentioned, but she was alluding to it. Rovman Powell getting dropped could also do. It could be a classism thing. The way Rovman Powell articulates himself. While Hope is smooth talking, Powell is not as smooth talking. I don't think it's probably the main reason, but it could be a reason.
Yeah, because Powell talks like I'm trying to remember Powell's voice. Powell's really softly spoken. Well, I said I'm going to do a Powell accent now. People are about to crucify me. Rovman, if you hear this, I'm so sorry, but I'm just trying to remember your voice in my head. Well, I said to the guys that you have to play the ball well, and you know the guys went outside and they tried to execute, and yeah, he's really softly spoken. He sounds like Jerry and Tom and Jerry. Hold on. Panda says, whoa. That wasn't my point. Wait.
All right. It's probably my point from her point. Okay. Thanks for throwing me under the bus. You could come on and mention your point.
But carry on anyways. I'll let you land the point all the same.
My point. Only point. All right.
So what you think that Powell doesn't? This sounds harsh though. What you think that he doesn't? I don't want to say it because I don't think that's the point you're trying to make. You think that he doesn't fit the mold of what a West Indies captain is supposed to be? You reckon that plays a role in
he
it?
fits my mold. I personally like Paul as a captain. He's probably my favorite captain. He probably doesn't fit the mold of the West Indies zeitgeist, the West Indies universe.
Do you think? Okay, let's cut to the chase though. Do you think Shai replacing him is out of order?
No, on a results basis, no. Because he lost last three T23s and last one against Bangladesh, almost full strength. That's not acceptable. I don't think that's the only reason. But I could be wrong. I thought
Louie made a good point though, that when he made that point about Sammy being on the boundary rope, almost talking Powell through his decision making, it's going to be interesting. I don't remember Sammy being on the boundary rope talking Shai Hope for his decision making. Now, some might say, but that's because Shai Hope's a wicket keeper. He can't run down to the boundary rope to talk to Sammy. But it's an interesting point that Louie made there. But here's a point. Fireball, about Shai. Whilst Louie was talking, I wrote down on the paper in front of me what is West Indies' current top 7 in T20 cricket if everyone is fit. Right? I'm not saying this is definitively it, but look at this. Just listen to this. King, Lewis, Puran, Rutherford, Powell, Chase, Dre, Romario, Shepherd. That's a top 8, right? Who drops out for Shai Hope?
In the T20. That's a good question. Repeat the top 8 again.
King, Lewis, Puran, Rutherford, Powell, Chase, Russell, Shepherd.
It'll be Powell, unfortunately.
Well, that's what's funny enough. So that when I was looking at it, I was like, everyone's going to call Chase's name, but Chase is there to provide the 6th bowling option when somebody shits up themselves with the ball. So it can't be Chase, which means that it's Powell. If Sammy has decided that Hope is now the captain, it's Powell who has to drop out for Hope. Unless I'm mistaken, I don't see. Do you see where I'm coming from?
I think it'll be Paul who'll get the axe, which will be harsh. I like Paul, but it is what it is.
Hold on. This was a quote. Rod's put this quote must be from the press conference. They said Hope blends instinctive decision making with analytical precision, using in-depth match data and player performance insights to shape strategy. If that's what they said in the press conference, then that means that Hope is basically Sammy's guy. He believes that Hope knows how to use the data and the matchups and the analytical strategy better than Powell knows how to do so.
I'll add to that. In the World Cup, one of my biggest criticisms of Paul didn't know how to make decisions when the situation changes or when the situation calls for it. He sticks to the plan. He doesn't deviate from the plan. And I don't know if it's because Sammy doesn't trust him to deviate from the plan or it's his own choice. But that was an issue in the World Cup.
Well, yeah, Master Errol says that's a long-winded way of saying that they think Rodman's a dunce.
Yeah, which another thing when it comes to class, but
yes, Mars Errol wanting to do the class thing. I'm not on it, Mars Errol. Allow me, Mars Errol. Mars Errol needs to go sit down with Miss Julie, you know. But anyways, last point, Fireball.
My last point for the Red Bull captaincy. The only people I think for the Red Bull who be Red Bull captains, Hope and Holder, and to be blunt and honest with you, I do not. That does not bring me any joy seeing either one of them being captain.
Which one do you think will act? Who do you actually think will? If you have to bet your a house on it, who would you say it's going to be?
Hope. It makes sense. Hope will be all former captain.
Okay, all right then. I hear you. Any last points, Fireball?
Not any last points. There was the Darren Bravo post. It's another sting Dutty Trinidad West Indies don't have no relationship with. He might go England with Pollard. Yeah, I have anything else to say.
Here's the thing, right? When I read the Bravo post, obviously, as Santoki said in the episode earlier today, Bravo and Rodman Powell are on the same IPL team. But part of me, when I saw Bravo's statement, the other part of me was like, is that Bravo speaking out because he don't like Sammy? Because it's a. Do you get where I'm coming from?
Yeah, because Sammy basically got the captaincy from him. So
yeah, it just the statement just felt like this is my chance to stick a nail into Sammy's foot here. This is my chance to say something. Put it this way, Bravo dropping that post tells me that he ain't coming to work with any West Indies players anytime soon.
That's unfortunate. Unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Anyways, let me go to the next caller.
Yeah, man. Take care.
All right, then. Take care. Cool. Right, people. Where are we? Kester is up next. It was the werewolf, but werewolf's gone. Don't know where he went to. But he was in the background, but he disappeared. So, like up the live, people. Share it. Subscribe. Actually, let me go look at subscription numbers. See what's been happening since we went live. 1 second, people. Let me see. Have we gained any subscribers? Yeah. Anyhow, okay. We gained a few, but you lot doing me dirty as usual. Got me out here with my bad throat, just talking, but people don't want to press the subscription button. People ain't sharing up. People ain't sharing up the content. People ain't liking up the content. Okay. I see how it goes. I see how it goes for you lot. You just want me to. You lot just want me to get ill, but you don't want to show me no love. You don't want to show me no love. This is why I had to upload all the Caribbean Cricket Podcast episodes to Pornhub, because you lot don't want to show no love. I said, I reached out to Pornhub and I said, can we host Caribbean Cricket Podcast episodes on your website? They said, come through. Anyways, let's go to Kester. Kester is up next. Right. Okay. Next caller. Let me set my timer. Right. Yes, Kester. How you doing?
I'm good, Mash. How you doing?
I'm very good, thank you.
Man, today's an exciting day in West Indies cricket after that press conference.
never a dull day in West Indies cricket.
One thing I took from the press conference, it was the test captain scenario. Sammy did mention that we have 8 captains in the region right now competing. So they are grooming guys for captaincy. So my question is Imlach and the Silver battling it out to captain West Indies cricket against Australia?
Well, this is. Do you know what? We laugh and joke about it, but this is a serious point. If Guyana, I don't think West Indies are going to name their captain until the West Indies Championship is over, right? Now, remember, the final game of the West Indies Championship in round 7 is between Guyana and Trinidad, right? If Guyana win the competition, which is what I think most people would say they're favourites to do so, and Imlach's the winning captain, don't be surprised if it's Imlach who ends up as, because then their justification would just be, well, Imlach, he's in the West Indies team. Yes, he's only played 2 test matches, but he's the winning captain of our best domestic Red Bull franchise side. They won last year. He was the captain then as well. He's got great captaincy experience. It would be wild to give the captaincy to somebody with only 2 test matches, but anybody, like you say, anybody they give it to, there's no real justification for it. So
yeah,
we could joke and laugh, but it could be Imlach.
Yeah, because half of the Caribbean will say it's wild to give it to Hope.
Yeah.
So it's up for grabs. It's going to be fun to watch. Come Australia. Well, I'm here for all of it.
Who would you give it
to? To be honest with you, I do not have a pick. I am here to back whoever Sammy picks.
You have to give a pick.
No, because Hope hasn't done anything to deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
He's good. He's one of our best in the region. But if Hope stays home and play the next 2 rounds, it's clearly his job. That from me.
Yeah.
But right now, I wouldn't be surprised if the Silver or Imlach gets it. I wouldn't be. Jason Odo might not even play for West Indies again.
Yes, good point. Good point.
So that's out. I don't see Jason Odo playing again. I was hoping that Kraigg stick around for at least the next series so we could make a judgment then. But that's not happening. Kudos to Kraigg though. For you did say it. I heard you say it many times. I watch every week. Kudos to Kraigg for for the job that he did and stepping down, which seems to be the right time with a new administration, new coach coming in.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, let me get to my next question. I don't want to take all your time. I'm getting ready to go to Pakistan to go watch Pakistan in Fort Lauderdale. I'm in Florida.
Oh, okay, you're gonna be there.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there for sure for one of the T20s.
Send me a message. I'm gonna be at the 2 weekend games.
I'll probably be there. But since the Jamaican test is a day and night, I might fly for that because it's right there from that. That's one of the things I got from the press conference also. Mm-hmm. The new lights that they're installing right now in Jamaica is for with the hope of them having a day and night test.
Yes.
So that would be exciting to watch.
I just want to throw a disclaimer in that when Chris Deering said it's going to be day night, I saw, and shout out to TC in the chat. Obviously, Babsy Grange, the sports minister in Jamaica, was doing up a big press conference and boasting about, we're putting up the money to fix the floodlights and so on and so forth. I'm still going to believe it when I see it. Don't be surprised if those floodlights aren't ready to the last minute, just before the game is ready to start, because Jamaica being ready months in advance for this test match, I don't see it happening.
Well, it was kind of mentioned in the press conference that once lights are installed and everything is a go. Australia already agreed to play the day and night, so it all depends on the light being ready.
Yeah.
So back to the Pakistan game. Mash. I'm 27 years old supporting West Indies. I'm 37 supporting West Indies. I just got my son I don't know, man. Should I put him through the trauma of taking him to watch them play?
Listen, how old is he?
Well, he's young, man. At that time, he'd be 1 year old. So
Oh, that's a good time. That's a good time for the generational trauma to begin.
All right. My final question is my final point is I think Redmond was dropped because of form.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we need our number 4-5 to be able to play spin. Why is Rodman demanding a spot in the team where he cannot make the team as a batsman?
So you think the captaincy change isn't really about captaincy per se? It's a way to make sure that Rodman can't be an automatic pick in the side.
Exactly. So now I think he would make the team if he plays because he's dropped. He's dropped not only as a captain, but he's firstly dropped as a batsman. Number 5, your video on Drew was perfect. Was great. It was great. I enjoyed that. Here's a spot for Drew.
Good point. So you think Rodman's taken a break from the side completely?
Yeah, unless his performance improve, his ability to play spin improve consistently, I don't think we'll see him back in the side.
Boy, do you know what? I hadn't even got to that stage of the thinking, because in my head I was like, okay, yeah, Hope's in, Rodman's still going to be in the squad. But I see your point. Can Rodman really say that he's shown the level of consistency that guarantees him a spot in the side? And there's an argument to say no.
It's no. The answer is no. You look back at his numbers over the past, how many series we had, and we had games where Shai was missing because of the pick of the way we had to pick the team. We had games where we had to play Chase just for the 6 bowling option, and at the expense of Hope.
Yeah.
So and that shouldn't be, because Hope is a better player of spin than most of our. Well, not. I'll put Paran up there. Rutherford is pretty good at spin, but that's basically it. So we need Hope to play every game in T20, especially with the World Cup being in India. We need he needs time and to adapt to leading the team, and he's a better player of spin. And are we really going to take Redmond to India to play spin?
Good.
Right now?
So you think there's even long-term thinking into all of this?
Yeah, I watched the whole press conference, man. I did a lot of driving today. I'm in Florida, so it's a lot of driving. So I had it on, and that's what I'm getting is they're planning for the future. And Rodman, I think his captaincy was okay. Yeah, we did achieve a lot under him, but his batting wasn't there. His performance wasn't there. And I also think, on another point, I think Kraigg is gonna have a wonderful rest of the year batting.
Yeah, I think the freedom that lives in the captaincy, I think is for him, knowing Kraigg as he is, he just wants to now just bat. He wants to just bat. He will not have been happy with he went what he averaged 21 in 2024. That's enough for Kraigg to think I need to just get back to batting. This captaincy thing is weighing down on me.
Oh yeah, but Kraigg will average I'm thinking 40-45 this year for the rest of the year. Okay. I think Kraigg is a sure lock. I know he's our best opener. I think Louie will still be in the team, but Campbell might get a nod for the first test. So we have 3 openers. So we will have the option, and who fails in the first 2 tests will play the 3rd test. That's how I see it playing out. I see, King having the multi-year contract. West Indies has been preparing us for this months ago. If you're watching and you're following it,
if you follow properly,
months ago, months ago they've been preparing us for this. King will be in the side. Why would you pay King a guarantee contract and you're not going to pick him in every game? That makes no sense.
Thank you.
It makes no sense. So so King will be. So King will be around. King, like you said, King might be in the squad. Someone will fail and he is not.
Yeah.
If you look at King's performance, King give us he average of 50 basically in every 2.5, 3 innings. That's better than our league. That's better than our league right now. And we trying to hold on to him. We trying to hold on to our league. Attendance. So King will be our middle order backup, probably right from the get go.
It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see. I suspect that whoever fails first is just out.
Yeah.
And then that's when King comes in. But I'm expecting Brandon to be named in the Australia Test squad. I'll be shocked if he's not named in it.
Yeah, Brandon will be there at the expense of Hodge. Hodge will not be there.
Yeah, so that's what I think is going to happen. But I'm keeping my mouth quiet for now. But that's what I think may end up happening. But listen, Kester, I need to go to the final call of the day. But
all right, man.
Thank you
Great
for
chat.
ringing in. Yeah.
Hey, man, it's a good thing. One more thing. Good thing I'm already in the Discord now, and I'm a paid Patreon. So,
big up.
Even if you kick me out, I'll still be there. Big up, man.
No problem. Take care.
Yep.
Cool. Yes. One more caller, people. Then I have to call it a night. OTC says, where is it? Hodge is the best middle order of the last 12 months. He probably is, to be fair, but the numbers are so. Let me just find my numbers to remind people. Sorry, Panda, you're the last caller of the day. Coming to you. Let me just find my numbers because. Right, here we go. Yeah, so OTC is actually right. So Hodge's numbers. In 2024, Kavem Hodge scored 516 runs, an average of 29. So technically, it's Athenaeus whose spot should be under pressure. But then you have to remember that Athenaeus has scored 450s in his last 4. He scored 450s in his last 4 tests. So all I know is one of Hodge or Athenaeus is getting dropped soon. That's if they don't perform. One of them's getting dropped soon. That's all I know, I don't know which one, but one definitely. No, hold on a minute. Wait. Yeah, one of them's getting dropped soon because I think Amir Django will keep his spot. Tevin Imlach will keep his spot. I just think one of Hodge Athenaeus is going to go. If they don't, they should. Carty's out already. Carty's out for Imlach, for Django. I think they'll get but then who's captain? Thing is, I'm saying one of them's going to go soon. It all depends on who's captain. This is why when Kester said it might be Imlach who ends up as captain, it might be Imlach, yes. It may well end up being Imlach. It's an absolute madness. This is why when people deep it properly, unless you're willing to drop someone out the side, we don't actually have a captain. It could end up being Imlach by default, just because he captains the best side in the region. Fam. No one's mentioned Kemar Roach, though. No one has mentioned Kemar Roach as a short-term option whilst they work out what they're doing. Anyways, whatever. Panda Steph's the last caller. This live has gone over by 7 minutes. Panda, you've got 7 minutes because it's ending on the hour mark. She got 7 minutes max. Make that 5 minutes by the time I address this point. Ronaldo Walker says, do you think that cricket is dying in Jamaica? I'm going to be in Jamaica from July the 21st this year. Once I get to Jamaica this summer, I'll be able to make my final assessment on it. What I will say is this, though. Babsy Grange being, obviously, for those of you who don't know Jamaican politics, we've got 2 main parties, the JLP and the PMP. JLP are currently in power, and we've got an election coming up. Now, you lot may remember that Jamaica has not had a CPL side for coming on 3 years now. Barely has cricket functioning in Jamaica. Scorpions are shit. And recently Babsy came out and said, yes, we the JLP really believe in cricket. Don't believe those people who say we don't believe in cricket, so much so that we're going to pay to fix the lights at Sabina to make sure we can have the first ever pink ball test in the Caribbean. And I just thought, when I saw Babsy say that, I just thought, pure politicking. You didn't care before the World Cup. We didn't even get any World Cup games in Jamaica. We didn't get no World Cup games. CPL side don't exist in Jamaica. And now you want to tell me you care about cricket because you want to suddenly put some money up for floodlights. The only reason Babsy and JLP suddenly caring about cricket is because there's an election coming up. That's why they're paying for the floodlights. It's nothing to do with loving cricket. There's an election coming. Pure politicking. That's all that's about. Don't fall for it, people. Keep your eyes open and question everything. Them can't fool me. Never. Impossible. Anyways, let's move. Panda's up. Panda, what are you saying?
Hello.
Yes.
I'm here to clear my name because Fireball came on here and said he has a point that I made. And I'm like, huh? Them's my words? No.
So just to clarify, so Fireball said that you basically said that Rodman can't be captain because he's from the ghetto.
I do not. I want to be very clear with my words. I had made no such allegations. I do not think a significant reason for the decision on the part of CWI was because of his class background. However, I think in the wider discussion of Powell's captaincy, what he has accomplished, and his downfalls, we keep saying, sorry?
Yeah, saying talk to me. Yeah,
we keep saying things like, oh, well, the last 3 series were failures. England, Sri Lanka, into Bangladesh, within the span of 3 months, 3 series failed. My discussion with Fireball at that time was we have allowed previous captains greater lengths of rope than just 3 series fails.
Correct.
So I do not buy the argument that those 3 series warrant him being dropped as captain.
Yes, I agree.
And the name that famously in the Discord, I always go on my rants about certain players. And one of the players I went on a rant about recently was Holder. And I mentioned Holder went 4 years without winning an ODI series. Obviously, that is an example of longer rope. But even beyond Holder, other captains have been given an entire year, 2 years, 3 years, where they have been allowed to fail almost indiscriminately and still be given some level of trust. So I do not buy that the 3. Now, if you want to make the argument that it's the 3 series plus the performance in World Cup, I think that's a bigger argument. I still have issues with that because I think that neglects the background with which we're coming into T20s from. Puran caught his tail in 2022 with T20 World Cup. Pollard caught his tail in T20 World Cup in 2020.
Yeah.
We aren't coming from 2016 into 2024 where we won T20 World Cup and we're able and our expectation is to win in 2024. We're coming from a side that barely qualified, that by all accounts have no right to be in T20 World Cup in 2020, 2022. And now we're trying to fight back to regain that emblem. I think the group stage is absolutely a fair assessment in that context, from having to turn around the team. The entire team in 2020 was thrown out for 2022, and the entire 2022 team was thrown out by the time we get to 2024. We've gone through 3 different 11s within the span of 3 years. Ravi Rampal was in 2020. People forget that. Fidel Edwards was in that discussion as well. And then by 2022, we had Hayden Walsh Jr., Odin Smith, Kimo Paul. I actually can't remember if Kimo Paul was there specifically. But we had the under 19 2016 group who had evolved into what we had hoped to be T20 World Stars by that point. And all of those got thrown out again for 2023, 2024. I think just by saying his performances in the 3 series and World Cup warrant being dropped, I think that is neglecting the greater context of T20 that's been going on since COVID. I also think specifically on Powell's batting, I don't buy that argument either. I am a person who always says a T20 player should have 2 skills, batting and bowling bowling and fielding, it needs to be 2 skills. You cannot be a primary batter, you can't be a primary bowler, etc. And Powell does fall into someone who only has 1 skill. However,
what's his one skill?
Listen, some people say he has no skills.
Okay.
But however, wasn't last year he's our top run scorer in T20?
No, in fairness, yep.
So where is the line between, oh well, he's not performing, and then he is also at the same time being the highest run scorer, even ahead of Nicholas Pooran, who we are claiming to be the greatest T20 player right now.
So hold on a minute. So I'm hearing everything you're saying. So why is he out the team then? Or why has he lost his captaincy?
I don't think his losing the captaincy was warranted. So I cannot give a reason that I believe, because I don't think he should have lost it.
You don't think he should have lost the captaincy, which I understand. So why do you think he has lost it?
I agree that there is a greater push to rejoin the formats. It increases player pool, undoubtedly, because now you can have players moving between them. It lessens the voices in the kitchen or at the table, whatever metaphor you want to go with, so that it's easier to create a plan, it's easier to create an identity, it's easier to create an approach. I do have concerns if we trust the people in power to do that. I do have concerns if we trust those people to take on the responsibilities of all formats. Yes, Sammy has taken on the responsibilities is about to take on responsibilities of all formats. We don't even know how he will handle that yet. And now we are potentially going to make, because we don't know the test option yet, we are potentially looking at making Shai Hope all formats captain. I have concerns. We can barely name a recent captain in any format who performed well during their captaincy with the bats. We can barely name that player to begin with. We tried separating the format captaincies in an attempt to combat that, to give them less responsibilities so they can focus on their games. And in some cases, we have seen improvements, and in some cases, we haven't. Going back to this all format, going back to a captaincy that spans multiple formats, it risks so much because it re-adds all of that pressure onto one pair of shoulders. And we don't know if that person is ready to take on that pressure, because we don't even know if our coach is ready, because we haven't seen the results of that yet.
Okay, but let's keep it on. Let me bring this quote back up again from Rods, which is on the Cricket West Indies website. Let's keep it on just white ball for a moment. Would it be fair to say that Darren Sammy has spent the last 18 months last 2 years with 2 captains, Shai Hope in ODIs, Rovman Powell in T20s? Would it be fair to say that no one is better placed to decide if he wants a new captain in T20s than Darren Sammy, because he's worked with both. He's worked with both in significant time and detail, gone through World Cup qualifier with Shai and the revitalization of the ODI side since that disaster in the World Cup qualifiers. He's gone through a World Cup cycle with Rovman. Surely Sammy is the best placed person to look at both people and say, you know what? I've worked with you both, and the best way forward now for the T20 side is for my ODI captain to also become my T20 captain, because he must see something strategic in how Hope goes about his business that better suits where Sammy and his backroom staff want to go. I'm not saying that's right or that's wrong, but there must be a logic to it.
Yeah, I would like to believe that Sammy operates on logic to a greater extent than previous persons we have seen. And
it's not vibes. It's not just a vibes thing.
I don't think this is vibes. I think this is logic. I may not agree with the logic. I may not understand the logic, but I think there is logic in this. And I think Sammy believes in what he is doing.
God might have told him to as well.
Man, mother, sleep. And in a dream, God tell him, put so-and-so man in this position. And if God says so, it has to be so.
Listen, as ever, Panda, you've actually raised some really pertinent points there for people to kind of chew on and think about there, because you're the only person who's really come on tonight and said, nah, Rothman shouldn't have been replaced, and come up with a kind of in-depth argument as to why. And I say this because just as more than 200 people end up in the live. Thank you, Panda, for that. You need to come back on the show next week and go into this in a bit more detail.
I'm actually working on an article.
I was about to say, I bet you're
Rothman's
writing an article
captaincy.
about it.
Yeah. Expect it within the next 12 hours.
1 second, let me get this off the screen. People, if you look at Panda's description, you'll see her Substack page there. Her Substack profile. But again, if you go to, let me see if I've still got it. I've just put it back in the chat again, people. If you go into the chat, you'll see the link to the Caribbean Cricket Podcast Substack, where you can see the articles that Panda has written thus far. I still need to pay her, but she hasn't given me her PayPal as yet, so I can't even send her the money.
I'm trying to figure that out this week. I'm getting some issues with my banks.
Okay, as soon as you're ready, though, let me send over the money. I'm a man of my word. Sure. So yeah, people. That's it, I think. Panda, thank you so much for coming on. Much appreciated.
No problem. Always fun.
Yeah, cool. See you in the Discord. Right, people. That's been Panda as ever, schooling us all up with knowledge and facts on the cricket. Let me go back into the live. So I put in the chat a poll about 8 minutes ago. I said, who should be the next Test captain? Holder, Imlach, Seals, or De Silva. I deliberately left Hope out of that poll just to see what you lot would say with regards to these 4 names. And 57% of you say it should be Josh De Silva. I might do a podcast episode on should Josh De Silva be the next captain of the West Indies. Uncles would get on a plane tomorrow and come fight me if I do that episode. Boy, who knows, eh? Who knows who's going to be the next captain? None of us know, None of us know. Because like I said on the show that I did with Santoki earlier today, which loads of you are still watching and streaming, 533 people in the last 60 minutes have watched that episode we dropped earlier today. So if you haven't watched that one yet and you're just in the live, if you go onto the Caribbean Cricket Podcast YouTube page, you'll see a video which says Kraigg Braithwaite quits. Go watch that. Everyone's running that one up. And then obviously run up this one as well. Like, share, subscribe, everything, people. Caribbean Cricket Podcast. You done know already. We do things you know already that we think we're the best. But what I will say, rather than just saying that, is that we do things in a unique way. When it comes around to covering West Indies cricket news, we're thorough. We try to be humorous with it as well. Don't take ourselves too seriously, So if you'd like to support the Caribbean Cricket Podcast as ever, like, share, subscribe, share it in your WhatsApp, share it in your Facebook, share it wherever, share it in your dark web, share it in your OnlyFans, share it in your Snapchat, share it in your TikToks, share it in your incognito profiles, share it with your mistress, the one who you've got saved in your phone as pizza. Like, share it with your mistress, share it with your side ting. Share Caribbean Cricket Podcast, people. We're on all kinds of platforms: X, Instagram, TikTok, Discord, Blue Sky, Snapchat, OnlyFans, Pornhub, everywhere. We're the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. No one does it like us, people. If you'd like to support us financially, head to www.patreon.com/Carib Cricket, and we'll be back very, very soon with some more episodes and stuff. Let me end this poll. Josh wins that particular vote. And like I say, people will be back very, very soon. The joke is, Santoki and I weren't even supposed to do the captaincy show today. We had another show planned, which we're now going to have to move to later in the week because there's never a dull day in West Indies cricket. But see you all very, very soon. Hope you've enjoyed the live show, people. And we shall be back. Sorry, last comment. I meant to put this one up. I forgot. OTC says, why have you not considered Alzari as captain? Allow me. From the minute Alzari decided to walk off the pitch last year, leaving us with 10 men on the pitch, from the minute he decided to do that, he will never captain any West Indies side for me. Not ever. Not ever. He's lucky he's even playing for West Indies. He's lucky he's even doing that based on what he did that time. So no to Alzari. Right, okay, people, listen, I'm out of here. Thank you as ever for joining the live show, and we'll be back very, very soon with some more content. See you lot soon. Peace.
West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast. West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast.